Hi. I really hope you're not sideways. Sorry there was no session last week. I'm sure you understand why I decided against doing it last Tuesday. So this week we are starting... Watch when it talks to me. So this week we're going to look at Chaturangas and moving from the transition from high plank into a low plank. So the reason that I want to focus on this is because how Chaturangas often look in classes, because everyone wants to do the full foot, the full variation with the knees lifted, is like that. And it's not really using a great deal of muscles. The other thing that we often see is this. And again, it's not really using a huge amount of the muscles that we're aiming to work in a Chaturanga. And also, often it happens at speed, so then you're just kind of jamming into your lower back and it doesn't feel too great. So I'm going to work through the two different options. So we'll look at the full Chaturanga, and then we'll look at the modification that you can take to help you to build towards it. So if your Chaturanga looks like this, then I want to demonstrate how we want to do it, and then that's something to work towards, but then I want you to take it back a level and lower the knees down. So when we're in a plank, we want to have the shoulders stacked over the top of the wrists, and we want to press through the heels towards the back of the room, and we want to have this nice long line between the top of the head, down to the bum, down to the feet. So the hips aren't sagging down towards the mat, because that gives us a little back bend. We want the core strong. The bum's not spiked up towards the ceiling. It's not a downward dog. So we want the nice long line. If your bum is spiked up towards the ceiling, you might just need to walk your legs back a little bit more to give yourself a bit more space. That could be the reason. Belly button is pulled inwards. We're also pressing through the hands, and that domes through the shoulders a little bit. To take a full Chaturanga, which is where we move from a high plank to a low plank, we roll onto the balls of the feet. The elbows are hugging in towards the ribs as we bend into the elbows. So if you can see, my elbows are bending out towards the back of the room, not out to the side. And then we lower down until the ribs are in line with the elbows. And then that's where we transition into our upward dog or our cobra. Oh, it's a surprise apparently, Mum. So it uses a lot of muscles. It takes a lot of upper body strength. I'm exhausted from talking while I was doing it. Uses a lot of upper body strength, uses your core. So there's a fairly obvious reason why a lot of people go splat. So if you tend to go splat, then if you can tell me what muscles you're using, when it looks like that, then feel free to carry on. But otherwise, what I tend to teach is, so one option that you tend to be given is to lower the knees, go knees, chin, chest, and then slide yourself forward. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, that's fine. What I tend to teach is to go from your plank into your knees lowered variation. So the shoulders are still over the top of the wrists, we're still pulling the belly in. If you can see, we're not in a tabletop, so the hips are forwards of the knees, they're not stacked over the top. And then from here, hug the elbows in towards the ribs. Then again, the elbows bend towards the back of the room, they're not splaying outwards. And lower the chest down towards the mat that way. So we're keeping the spine long, and we keep using the whole of the core. So rather than going knees, chin, chest, and then sliding forwards, we're preparing our bodies to move towards a full Chaturanga. So that's why I teach that variation. If anything that I've said doesn't make sense, if you have any questions, then please get in touch, send me a message, and feel free to let me know what you would like me to cover next week, because we will be back. It is every Tuesday, just not last Tuesday. Have a lovely evening. Bye. I'm going to try and log off without looking creepy.